Welcome to another video lesson by 10 Fundamentals. In today's video, we're going to teach you about data retention policies, which allow companies to store your personal information for extended periods of time. In a nutshell, a data retention policy is like a rulebook for how a company handles your information, specifically explaining how long they keep your data, why they keep it, and how they make sure it's safe during storage. Data retention policies are important for users because they ensure that companies keep personal information safe. They help companies respect users' privacy. They also make sure that data isn't kept longer than needed, which helps to prevent access or misuse of data by unauthorized persons. Imagine your data as like a book that you lend to a friend. The data retention policy ensures your friend doesn't keep the book forever. It also makes him promise to take good care of it. Similarly, the data retention policy protects your personal information, making sure it's not kept longer than needed and it's kept safe. Although all sections in the data retention policy are important, let's discuss a few key sections from our data retention policy here at 10 Fundamentals. Data retention policies tell you for how many days, months, or years your data will be stored by a company. The data retention policy lists what kind of information the company keeps. It could be your name, email, or other details. Data retention policies outline how a company will keep your data safe, like through the use of encryption or special security processes. Data retention policies also outline whether you can ask a company to delete your data. The policy should state how to go about asking the company to delete your information and what happens to your info when they do so. Companies often use a few different techniques to protect data during storage, including anonymizing data, which is like putting a mask over your information so no one can see who the info belongs to. Companies also make exceptions and use backup plans. Sometimes the data retention policy might say why companies can't delete certain information, for example, due to legal or security reasons. When a company violates its own data retention policy, it can have serious consequences for both the company and its users. Violating data retention policies can compromise user privacy. It may mean that the company is holding on to users' personal information for longer than necessary or using it in ways that weren't agreed upon. Depending on the laws and regulations in place, there could be legal consequences for the company. Data protection laws such as GDPR or other regional regulations often have strict requirements regarding how long companies can retain user data and what they can use it for. The longer the data is stored, the more opportunities there are for unauthorized access to it. This could lead to sensitive information falling into the wrong hands. Users have the right to know how their data is being handled. If a company is not following its own data retention policy, users might not have the control they were promised over their personal information. Violating data retention policies can harm a company's reputation. Users trust companies to handle their data responsibly. If this trust is broken, it can lead to a loss of credibility and customer trust. In the event of a data retention violation, the company may need to take corrective actions like promptly deleting data that should not have been retained or implementing measures to prevent future policy violations. A responsible company will communicate openly with their users if there's been a data retention policy violation. This may include informing users of the issue, explaining the steps taken to address it, and outlining measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. Depending on the severity of the situation and the applicable laws, the company may be required to notify data protection authorities about the violation. If you think a company isn't following their rules, you can talk to them about it. Data privacy laws give you the right to say no to data collection. You also have the right to access, alter, and in some cases, even delete information that a company holds about you. On a final note, everyone should read the data retention policy. Even if it seems long or boring, it's important to know what information companies are collecting and retaining about you. Ask questions. If something is unclear, don't be afraid to ask someone you trust or even the company for help. Data retention policies are there to inform you and protect your personal information, so it's good to know them. Learn more about the rules and policies that govern 10 Fundamentals in the 10 Fundamentals Policy Center. You can also visit the DataWise Center for additional tips and resources about data privacy at 10fundamentals.com/datawise. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more video lessons by 10 Fundamentals.